Arc length of a polar curve. Let's look at the formula for arc length of a polar curve. If we start with the arc length formula for a curve defined by parametric equations and let x equal r cosine theta and y equal r sine theta, the arc length for a polar curve r equals f of theta, as theta goes from alpha to beta, is given by L is equal to the integral from theta equals alpha to theta equals beta of the square root of the quantity r squared plus dr d theta squared d theta. And it's an interesting little proof that I would encourage you to work through, where you start with the formula for a curve defined by parametric equations and make your substitutions for x and y and differentiate with respect to theta, and you'll see some identities pop out and you will arrive at this formula. Note that as you go from theta equals alpha to theta equals beta, the curve must be traversed or traveled exactly one time. Let's jump into an example. Let's find the length of the curve r equals the square root of 1 plus sine 2 theta, where theta is between 0 and pi times radical 2. So we have our arc length formula. It's really just a matter of substituting in, and then we are going to start to practice our integration since we just did a lot of setup earlier. So here we know we're going to have to find dr d theta, so let's just go ahead and do that now. So dr d theta, the derivative of r with respect to theta, will require the chain rule here because this is 1 plus sine of 2 theta all to the 1/2. So we're looking at 1/2, 1 plus sine of 2 theta to the negative 1/2 times the derivative of the inside. So we're looking at the chain rule here. The derivative of 1 plus sine 2 theta, that's going to be cosine of 2 theta times 2. So there's really a double chain rule happening there. So the 1/2 and the 2 simplify to 1. So I'm going to write this as cosine 2 theta over the square root of 1 plus sine of 2 theta simplified. All right, so that's dr d theta that we're going to have to substitute in. We have r that we're going to have to substitute in, and then our alpha and beta are these angles here. So let's start writing things out here. Our length is going to be the integral from 0 to pi times rad 2 of the square root of, we're going to do r squared, so the square root of 1 plus sine of 2 theta squared plus our dr d theta, so that's cosine 2 theta over the square root of 1 plus sine of 2 theta. All of that is squared, and underneath the square root, d theta. All right, so some nice things start to happen. The square root and the squared are going to cancel out there, and let's start to write out what we're going to have. The integral from 0 to pi times radical 2 of the square root of, we're going to have 1 plus sine of 2 theta plus, now here, cosine 2 theta gets squared, so we'll write that as cosine squared 2 theta. And then here, the square root and the square cancel, so we have 1 plus sine 2 theta in the denominator. So let's try to make these have common denominators here. So we're looking at the integral from 0 to pi times rad 2 of the square root of, we're going to have a big fraction bar in here. We're going to have that common denominator be 1 plus sine 2 theta. So we're going to have to multiply this side over here on the top and bottom. So like this is over 1. So we'll multiply the top and bottom by a 1 plus sine of 2 theta. So that's going to be 1 plus sine of 2 theta times 1 plus sine of 2 theta plus that cosine squared 2 theta on the top. Gonna need some more space. All right, we have some more space. We have 0, pi times radical 2, square root of. In the numerator, we're gonna have to distribute these two binomials out. That's gonna leave us with 1 plus 2 sine of 2 theta plus sine squared 2 theta plus cosine squared 2 theta all over 1 plus sine of 2 theta d theta. We have an identity in there. We have sine squared 2 theta plus cosine squared 2 theta. That is 1. That's the Pythagorean identity there. So this portion here, right, is just 1. And so 1 plus this 1 in the front is 2. So our next line is going to be the square root of 2 plus 2 sine 2 theta over 1 plus sine 2 theta. Nice things are starting to happen, or will happen shortly. So here we can pull a 2 out of the numerator. Make some more space. So I have 2 times 1 plus sine of 2 theta, and then there's a 1 plus sine of 2 theta on the bottom. Look at that, those cancel, and I'm really just integrating rad 2. So 0 to pi times rad 2. The integrand is just a number, rad 2. We're integrating with respect to theta, so it's going to be radical 2 theta, evaluated from 0 to pi times rad 2. We'll plug in that pi times rad 2. If we plug in 0, we get 0. Rad 2 times rad 2 is 2. All that work, and we end up with 2. And in this example, we're going to find the length of the cardioid, r equals 1 minus cosine theta. So here, although the limits of integration aren't explicitly provided, in order to get the length of the full cardioid, which is like that heart shape, we're going to have to go around the entire unit circle. So we're going to have to extend from 0 to 2 pi. So to set up our arc length here, we're going to say the integral is from 0 to 2 pi of the square root of r squared, so 1 minus cosine theta squared, plus dr d theta squared. So let's take that derivative over here. Dr d theta, well, the derivative of cosine is negative sine. There's already a negative there, so just sine theta. So inside here, we're going to have sine squared theta d theta. All right, so let's go ahead and distribute out 1 minus cosine theta squared. So that's going to give us 1 minus 2 cosine theta plus cosine squared theta. Remember that we can't just distribute the exponent. That doesn't work, so I'm distributing out the binomials here. And then plus that sine squared theta d theta. So we have that identity again. Sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta is 1. So all of this right here is a 1. So what I have underneath the radical is going to be radical 2 minus 2 cosine theta d theta. And right here, we might feel a little bit stuck. So how do I go about integrating this? Well, ideally, I would like some quantity squared underneath a square root. That would be ideal, so that the square root and the squared cancel. All right, had to make some more space here. So let's actually factor the 2 that's underneath the radical in both terms here. So I'm at a place where I can say 0 to 2 pi, the square root of 2 times the quantity 1 minus cosine theta d theta. And I can actually even pull out the radical 2 there. And so I can make this like radical 2, the integral from 0 to 2 pi of the square root of 1 minus cosine theta, and then d theta. So now, again, we're trying to get the part under the radical to be a perfect square somehow. And we're basically going to use the power reducing formula in reverse. So let's remind ourselves of the power reducing formula for sine. So sine squared x is equal to 1 minus cosine of 2x over 2. So I have 1 minus cosine theta. So it's similar, but not quite the same thing. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to multiply the 2 to the other side here. So I know this equation is true. So whatever I do to one side, I can do to the other. So how about I multiply by 2, so I know 2 sine squared x is equal to 1 minus cosine of 2x. Okay, I'm getting closer. This right-hand side, 1 minus cosine 2x, I need it to be 1 minus cosine theta. So what we're going to do is a little bit of a substitution. So we're going to let this x be theta over 2. So right here, I'm going to make a substitution. Let's let x be theta over 2. If this is truly an equation, I should be able to substitute x into both sides of the equation, and it will still hold true. So let's replace x with theta over 2. So we're going to have 2 sine squared of theta over 2 is equal to 1 minus cosine of 2 times theta over 2. So the 2 over 2 cancels, and my right-hand side is 1 minus cosine of theta. That's exactly what I have underneath my radical here. And what I just showed that was equal to is 2 sine squared of theta over 2. So now I can go ahead and replace 1 minus cosine theta with 2 sine squared of theta over 2. So here's where I'm at. I have this radical 2 in the front, the integral of 0 to 2 pi of the square root of 2 sine squared theta over 2 d theta. And so now these are multiplied, right? So I can pull out another radical 2, copy it to the front. So I'd have just a 2 in the front, the integral from 0 to 2 pi, and then the idea is that the square root and the squared are going to cancel, so now I'm just integrating sine of theta over 2 d theta. And this has a general antiderivative. So here, let's take the general antiderivative. Let's make a little bit more space. So we'll leave the 2 in the front. The antiderivative of sine is negative cosine. So we're going to have negative cosine of theta over 2. But we're going to have to put the reciprocal of 1/2 in the front. So we're going to have an extra 2 in the front there, right? Because basically the chain rule would pop a 1/2 to the front. So I need a 2 in the front to cancel that. What's really happening is a u substitution, but we want to be able to sort of do that one in our head. And so then we're evaluating this from 0 to 2 pi. So we have negative 4 cosine of 2 pi over 2 minus negative 4 cosine of 0 over 2. And so negative 4 cosine of pi plus 4 cosine of 0, a little bit more space. So we have negative 4 cosine of pi is negative 1 plus 4 times 1. So we have 4 plus 4. So we get out 8. So the length of that curve given in polar is 8.